now.
And we're back.
And
Again. Oh, there's a two Pita Tiffany's here today. One's a Catholic priest.
okay, we now have Alec, Jack with Peter, Tiffany online. And we are recording again.
Okay, Morena, Alec, welcome back. Can you see and hear us?
Yes, I can. Thank you all.
And we've allowed you again some more special leave to bring an additional witness in support of your primary submission. I understand you have Tiffany with you. Yep. Well, it looks like you're up the road from us with the background of your religion. So good morning, Peter. Shall I just hand it over to you? Yeah, so, anyway, thank you.
Tēnā koutou e ngā komihana. E Robert, e te heamana tēnā koe. E Hilda, e mihi atu ana kia koe. E Peter, e Siana, tēnā koutou katoa. Yes, I do have the whare runanga as my background, given one of my key roles as chairman of the Waitangi National Trust, which, while it doesn't have a direct connection to the topic in which you're convening, it still very much does. So thank you for making the time this morning. My name is Peter Tipene. I speak in my capacity as kai kōrero or spokesperson for Ngāti Hine, and also as the chair of the Ngāti Hine Forestry Trust, whose lands border on Pauerua, and that also incorporates whenua of Ngāti Rangi, our immediate neighbours. You will know that Ngāti Hine are the kaitiaki through the Lake Ōwhare Iti Trust that is chaired by Hori or George Packer. And so our interests in the topic for which you're convening are very significant. So thank you again for making the time. While I'm delivering this on behalf of Ngāti Hine, the immediate hapu of Ngāti Hine in that particular corner, Ngāti Te Ara and Ngāti Kopaki. With Kawiti, our tupuna, having signed Te Tiriti o Waitangi, remembering that he signed our Waitangi week was last week because he signed in May. He refused to sign on February the 6th at Waitangi. But the area adjoining what is the Pauerua Heritage Precinct is called Kawiti because he lived in that very area, and he chose to live out the rest of his life in close proximity to Henry Williams and Marianne Williams, who, as you know, are both buried at the Pakaraka Church. So he sought to live adjacent to them, having been described by missionaries as a heathen up to that point. He became a very close friend of Henry Williams. So that'll tell you, and I could give more historical connections to the area, to the Heritage Precinct, and what is being, the changes are looking to amend that to the heritage area, which extends over what we call the colonial aspects of the whenua in that area. So look, with that as some of the background, what we see and what we feel is that the lands surrounding Pauerua, which includes the lake, have a persona. They are treated as people, and they are treated with that respect. And that has come down through the generations because our ancestress from which Ngāti Hine is named, Hine Amaru, her grandmother, Ahuaiti, lived on the slopes of Pauerua, as did her son. So we are directly linked to that whenua, and they have a persona. And so it relates as much to the intangibles of the land and the water, and even more so than the tangibles of the physical aspects of the land, the houses that are there, and any other infrastructure. So I really want to make the point that we're viewing it from the view that the land is a person. It is Papa Tuanuku, and therefore it brings intangibles of that land as a taonga, having wairua or a spirit, having the mauri, the mana, and the ihi, which will be there forever. As much as we come and go, we want to leave that area, given its huge significance nationally, to have our mokopuna and future generations enjoy it on the same basis. So look, I want to highlight that while I'm submitting from a Ngāti Hine perspective, it doesn't take away the perspectives of those other hapu who live in the area, namely Ngāti Rangi, Ngare Hauata, Te Uri Kapana, Ngāti Kawa, and others. And I really need to emphasize that. So what this, when I said that it's connected to my role as the chair of the Waitangi National Trust, this is a tiriti or Waitangi issue, whether we like it or not. Some may say that the tiriti remains with central government. We say in Ngāti Hine, it is just as much about local government and how the promise of Te Tiriti o Waitangi that was promised to Kawiti when he signed is that we do not want unnecessary controls brought over the land, which Ngāti Hine realizes that outstanding natural features and outstanding landscape features, significant natural areas, all of those overlays are already a part of the framework, if I can describe it like that. So any more overlays which the heritage area may bring in, we oppose, because there are already enough protections. So therefore, as I've already said, given Kawiti and Henry Williams' close association with Te Tiriti o Waitangi, it is being brought to bear in this very area, being proposed for the heritage area. What I can say is that while I'm pitching it in that manner, I don't want it to be misunderstood, because as Ngāti Hine, we have very close relationships with our, I can call them non-Māori, I'd go as far as to say relatives and friends, because we all have a very close association with the whānau who have lived over there in that area for many generations and are just as much kaitiaki as Horipaka is at the lake. So I really want to emphasize that. But what I do know is that in 2021, we met at the Pakaraka Hall as a community meeting. And I stood up there in that meeting, along with others, to clearly oppose what was being presented. I also said that, as far as we knew, there had been no consultation with us in regard to the change. And as much as I have a close relationship with Bill Edwards of Heritage New Zealand, who I only saw last week, by the way, up at the Waitangi National Trust, albeit at a distance, and that we know each other and we progress matters, I think Heritage New Zealand is going down the wrong path and is not really understanding. And given the commitments made by previous generations of leaders for the hapu in that area to protect the moving maunga Pauerua, after being studied by archaeologists, into a traditional site status, I think there's been some real creep. I'm not talking about people, by the way, but the creep over and above what was envisaged by our forebears, and what they sought and what is now being sought by Heritage New Zealand is a real overreach, and we want to prevent that, and we want to ensure that any change in status is not going to allow development that is not in keeping with the persona of the maunga and the surrounding lands. So look, I will bring it to a close because I know your time is short, and so is mine. Thank you. In short, we are happy with the current status of the Heritage Precinct for Pauerua, and that moving into the heritage area for the reasons that I've outlined is overreach, and we're not happy with it, and therefore we oppose it. I hope that the rationale for our opposition I've made reasonably clear. So, Mr. Chair, panel, I'll leave it at that for now.
Yes, kia ora, thank you very much, Peter. That was some very informative and helpful evidence. I'll just see if the panel has any questions for you, just quickly before you depart. Do you have anything you want to do?
Pureka e pātai e tautoko o kōrero nāmei. Waro.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you again, Alec, for facilitating all your witnesses for us.
Oh, can I just add? Yesterday we had a submitter who was talking about e raru me tana urupā I whangaroa. And so, you know, that it was on somebody's land and he couldn't get access to it. Anyhow, I told him there was a whole bunch of priests down at the Copthorne, but he might have been a bit shy, so I sort of talked to one of the ministers this morning, and his name was Peter Tipene. And no pangaru, engari, e mea na ia o a mane kōrero ki ngā iwi o whangaroa, or just saying. So, you know, sometimes and pai te kite tangata harawai in the nahira, te tautoko tō kōrero hoki. Kia ora.
Kia ora, Hilda. I always thought that I was quite unique, but I'm now very, very aware that I'm the number 2 pita tipene in Tai Tokera.
Thank you very much.
Kia ora.
Okay, stopping the recording.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think this is a good time for us to have a break. So we'll take a 20-minute adjournment. We'll come back at 11:15.